filing for bankruptcy this week. The Massachusetts-based chain was considered an East Coast staple for decades. Marketing professor Anjali Ball at Branson College says that was before the pandemic, and shoppers changed their habits.
Our brands, no matter how powerful or how long-standing they are, if they can't respond to market changes, they're going to actually lose on the market.
You're listening to ABC News.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
First responding to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am Hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeredInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
8 people have been granted immunity deals in a Georgia prosecutor's investigation into possible meddling in the 2020 election. ABC's Mark Remillard with the story.
Franklin County District Attorney Fannie Willis has entered into immunity deals with at least 8 so-called fake electors. According to an attorney representing them, the 8 were among a group of 16 fake electors who, in December 2020, signed a certificate falsely stating that then-President Trump had won the state. Word of the immunity deals show movement on Willis's case as she continues to investigate whether Trump and his allies committed any crimes in trying to overturn his narrow election loss. Willis has said she expects to announce her decision on charges this summer. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
The horse, which had been the favorite going into today's Kentucky Derby, has been scratched. Forte was pulled from the lineup due to a foot injury. The CEO of Adidas says he's closer to making a decision about what he's going to do with all those Yeezy shoes which have been sitting in warehouses since the company parted ways with the rapper formerly known as Kanye West over his anti-Semitic and otherwise offensive remarks. Since then, about $1.2 million worth of the popular shoes have been left unsold. The CEO says the last thing that he wants to do is to destroy the merchandise, but he says he may now have no other choice. This is ABC News.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
First responding to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am Hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeredInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
I'm KSRO's Leon Trucillos with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast. Thick cloudy with a chance of rain today at a high of 62, 55 along the coast. Wind speeds are mild under 10 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy then for tonight, low 43 degrees. Mostly sunny then for tomorrow, but temperatures staying in the mid-60s. Partly cloudy then for Monday at 65, mid-50s along the coast. Depend on weather every 30 minutes at FM News Talk 103.5 and 96.9 KSRO.
Garden Talk and the Good Food Hour are brought to you by the Santa Rosa Original Certified Farmers Market.
I like plants better than people plants. And magnolias, they never do evil. Magnolias, they ever want us to grow. Iris are smarter than us. Silent, they make a living without any fuss. Water, sun, and all they need to grow. Do I have to get specific? I think plants we are so terrific.
Saturday morning here in Sonoma County, which, as you know, is not unusual. If you've been here for any length of time, April, May, even into June, we've gotten some substantial rain. Think back, many of those of you that have been on any of the garden tours, the Sonoma County Medical Alliance tours, the Master Gardeners tours, all these different garden tours that happened in May and June, where you remember, some of them were not rained out, but there was significant rain in some of these old tours.
Yeah, May and June, I do remember, because we've only been here, well, I don't know how many, 30 some odd years. And so, the garden tours is what comes to mind. The Master Gardeners Blooming Backyards tour had their issues a few times with some rain and people getting stuck in their parking areas and this and that. Myself, I was on the medical garden tour one year, and it rained on Friday, and that was quite annoying. It rained the day before too, as people were setting up and trying to get things going. And yeah, so there have been several years that we've had abnormal amounts of rain, or rain late, like I said, May or June. It happens. I mean, weather is not predictable, so we just go with the flow.
We didn't get to this email last week, and Catherine would like an answer from us. She writes, "Hi, Gwen and Steve. Last year you said I couldn't pinch back my Schiffelera to make it branch out." Okay? So here's the photo she sent us. It's grown another foot, and the roots go through the potholes. Should I put it in a larger pot? And if so, how tall do you think it'll get? That's
Wow.
Catherine.
4 feet tall for a Schiffelera. That's pretty.
Man,
that's a pretty good size.
Look at this. It's
Yeah,
almost
but-
ready to topple over.
Yeah. It's just one tall stem, and it looks like a nice corn stalk. It's that to give people a visual is just straight. But I'm thinking what you could do, Catherine, is maybe do some air layering.
It's in a pretty small
It
pot.
definitely needs to be repotted. You don't want any roots going through the bottom of the holes. So get a pot, next size up, get some potting soil, and make sure the soil's wet before you pull it out of the pot. Go ahead and replant it. And then what you could do is try air layering. I don't want to go through the whole spiel about it, but you'll see a lot of YouTube videos about how to do this. You can girdle a section of the stem, maybe 2 feet from the base of the plant, or 2.5 feet, 3 feet, wherever you want to go. You can girdle the bark on it. You can add some rooting hormone, wet sphagnum moss, and you pack it all around this wound that you've made. Get some saran wrap and wrap it up nice and tight, and put some twist ties or something on the top and bottom of it so it stays put. And it'll probably take months and months before that section there that you've wounded starts to grow roots. And you would check it every week or so. You can take a peek in there and do what you can to carefully look and see if when some significant amount of roots have grown. Then you can cut that below the roots. Okay, now you can start another plant, because this top part of the plant is what you did, where you cut, you have your roots there, and you go ahead and you plant that plant. The thing why I said not to pinch it back or even cut it is that sometimes it just doesn't, it'll grow out some side shoots, but it's not going to make a bushier plant is what you wanted to begin with. So you should have bought a plant that's already like that, or you could have started when the plant was very young. So say the plant, you buy it in the store, it's maybe a foot tall. You could do some pinching, and you could pinch the other shoots also, if there are any, and that will create a bushier plant, like you would do when you're pruning any of your shrubs or whatnot outside. So, sometimes then house plants do the opposite of what you think they're going to do. So, but if you wanted to keep it 4 feet like this, I mean, it looks pretty cool, you might want to get a decorative stake to put in there so it doesn't fall over, if you like that height. But if you do any pinching anywhere, you will encourage the side branches to grow a bit, but they're not going to grow a whole heck of a lot. It's just not the nature of these plants to do that. So, but the air layering would be a fun project to do. Like I said, then you get 2 plants, and then the one that is remaining in the pot.
Red light camera ahead.
Where you cut the top off with the roots, and you planted that one. So have fun. Look up air layering, schifferers, and you'll get some real good videos on specifically what to do and how to cut and how deep to cut into the stem and all that.
Think about how many people's homes and apartments years ago had a schifferer. They were an incredibly popular house plant.
And you would buy them when they're, at a reputable, independent nursery. They're full looking, because that's how they keep growing and stay full. But if you bought one with one little stalk, stem, it does want to keep growing straight, as what hers is doing.
Thanks for your email, Catherine, and hope that helps. Lucas is back from Sebastopol. What can we do for you, Lucas? Good morning.
Well, good morning. I've got a comment and then a question. And this is good timing because you just played your little theme song as you opened up this session.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, where did that song come from? Because on KSRO weekdays, every morning, they always play a little segment. They call it, here's the earworm for the day. and then they play a tune, and then you're supposed to have that running through your ear all day long. Well, your little theme song is my earworm. I think it's perfect. And I also would like to ask Gwen, is that you doing the vocals on that little piece?
No, this song is how old? How many years old is this?
So here's the backstory.
Thanks, Lucas.
Lucas, thank you for the question. That song was written by Rita Rue, R-E-E-T-A Rue, R-O-O, who was a member of the Occidental Community Choir. Oh, this goes back 30 years. And in 1996, we took the show, Garden Talk and the Good Food Hour, out to Grab and Grow in Sebastopol. And we invited the Occidental Community Choir to come and sing on the show on Garden Talk. And they agreed. The choir came out and they announced that they were going to debut a new song that had been written by Rita Rue. We, of course, record all our shows. They sang that song live at Grab and Grow. We recorded it, and that's been our theme song since 1996. It was on a CD that the Occidental Community Choir eventually released, but that's been out of print, out of circulation for over probably 20, 25 years.
Well, it's a great tune, and like I say, they ought to use that during the week as an earworm.
Now, your question for Gwen.
Yeah, I was curious, was that her doing the vocals on that piece? And you said, no, it's the choir, I guess.
Yeah, Gwen can sing.
No, I cannot. Thanks, Lucas.
Well, thank you for asking her. It was not Gwen, but it was the Occidental Community Choir. Thanks for inquiring, Lucas. Probably a lot of other people inquired about it, too.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Anyway, good on you. It sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lucas. Daniel is back from Cazadero, California. Daniel, what can we do for you this morning? Welcome to Garden Talk.
Good morning, guys over there in the greenhouse. How's it going?
Very well. How's by you today?
It's raining and it's sunny and it's raining and it's beautiful and the plants are soaking up. It's quite happy. So I have a couple questions. The first one is with the asparagus. I have a couple of asparagus plants that every year they come up and they put out maybe 6 or 7 sprouts. I eat a few and let a bunch of them grow. Well, if I pick them all, will that stuff to the rootstocks not be healthy if you don't leave a few to go out, and be fully make little red berries every summer? If I take them all, will that harm the asparagus at all?
If the asparagus clump is older than 4 years old, they'll forgive you for. Sorry? Oh, 20 years old? Wow. Okay. No, I think it'll be pretty forgiving, but you don't want to do that every year because the plant is on the older side. It's elderly, and it does need some asparagus stalks to turn into foliage to put some energy back into the root system. So you don't want to, if you harvest all the stalks this year, okay, it'll be fine. It'll probably try and send up a few more because you took all of them away, and it needs those to get the photosynthesis and everything going. That's what it's going to try to do, later in the year. divided these clumps?
They're beautifully moved in, and they're ancient, and they're kind of under a movie theater and behind the generator. It's a weird product. I was never know. But they're still there, they're alive, but not necessarily. The moles are around there having this thing too.
Yeah, they'll be eating the roots. The voles are going to definitely do some damage to your plants. It probably would be a good idea in the late fall, early winter to dig some up because, like you said, they're going to produce less and less and less as they get crowded out. They're competing for space, they're competing for water, nutrients, room to grow. So just like bearded irises or daffodils, tulips, all those things that make babies, they are in competition with each other. So yeah, it would be best to put little stakes, some little flags or something, so you know where the healthiest clump is, where you had the best production of asparagus. Then you'll know that's the clump that you want to keep, and you'll see everybody else that's attached to it. It's probably going to look like a big, giant commercial pot of cooked spaghetti underground, and so it's going to, you're going to be surprised.
You got to dig a huge, like a 1 or 2 foot ball of soil around if you don't want to move it or something. Or are they movable? You think that would move it?
In the late fall, early winter, I would do that when the soil's manageable to work with and they're going dormant and all the greenery has died down. So like I said, you're going to have to put some stakes out there and mark the ones that had the best looking spears, asparagus spears. And so you'll get a spaded fork and, hopefully the areas around the good clump, the most productive clump, will be kind of like nothing left to it. And that's where you're going to be digging. Because it's going to be hard. You might damage something, this and that, but you're not going to damage the clump that you want to keep that's been the most productive. So then there's a whole other way of, there's a whole story about how to plant asparagus. And we need to take a break, Steve's saying, so if you want to hold on, I'll give you a quick tutorial about how to plant asparagus.
Okay, and another question about corn too.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna probably we'll take a break now, we'll put you on hold and we'll come back and you'll give them a quick tutorial of asparagus and that answers corn question.
Yes.
Okay, 636-1320, you can take another call now while Daniel's waiting for it to be serviced this morning. And we'll take a couple of email questions and continue on. John Ash in at the KSRO Good Food Hour at 11, and you don't want to miss the show. I'll tell you all about it right after this.
I'm Stephen Curry.
I'm Steve Kerr. Hi, this is Draymond Green.
I'm Klay Thompson, and this is the home of NBA champion Golden State Warriors, KSRO.
Country Summer, presented by Bud Light, rocks the Sonoma County Fairgrounds in Santa Rosa, June 16th, 17th, and 18th. Country Summer with Leonard Skinner Friday. Eric Church Saturday. All I wanna do is put a drink in my hand. And Lee Price and Brothers Osborne Sunday. But it ain't my fault. Are you one of them jerks? Along with the Cadillac 3. Matt Stell and Tyler Farr. In all, over 20 acts across the Chevy Silverado and Redwood Credit Union stages. Brought to you by Bud Light, Bay Area Chevy dealers, Redwood Credit Union, Bud Light Seltzer, Western Farm Center, Kaiser Permanente, Kinsmoke, and Xfinity. Plenty of activities for the whole family to enjoy. You won't want to miss out on Northern California's biggest party. Tickets on sale now at countrysummer.com.